really cool actually, and honestly, it's simple enough for modern Magic. I feel like all people talk about when it comes to banding is how you can attack in a band and how complicated it makes combat. Let's just skip past that and talk instead about how you can block using banding. When you block using banding, you don't need to declare a band because it follows the normal rules for just blocking in a group. As long as one person in the group that's blocking a single creature has banding, the whole group gets the benefit of banding. What is the benefit of banding? You, the person with banding, gets to decide how the other side's damage is distributed. So the simplest version of this is just if the attacker is a 5/5 and you have two 3/3s, normally you'd have both of your 3/3s get thrown in front, and then the 5/5 gets to decide if it wants to kill the 3/3 and mark 2 damage on the other one, or vice versa. Whereas if you are the one who is deciding how damage is assigned, then you get to decide which of the 3/3s eats it. But you can spread the damage however you like, not assigning full lethal and then moving to the next. So if I had two 4/4s instead, I could have one take 3, one take 2, and then both live. Now yes, you can do this while attacking as well, but you can't force your opponent to block, and you have to declare which creatures are part of that band, and then they all get blocked together. So you're actually opting into a pretty big downside. You only block one, all of them are blocked, which is kind of just makes it easier for your opponent to chump block. This is why I think we could actually bring banding back, but just only print it as a defensive keyword. There are actually defenders with banding that are pretty good still, and you should probably try running in a real deck today. Either way, it's not very complicated if we restrict it to the blocking stage. You just get all the upside of getting to distribute the damage without any of the complication of how attacking in a band works. The other really cool upside of banding is that it basically counters trample. And honestly, trample could use a counter. I feel like there's a ton of mechanics in the game that have direct counters, like flying and reach, for example. Or I guess flying and flying, but I digress. But trample doesn't really have that counter. And if we look at the history of mechanics, I think probably banding was intended as one. But since banding has fallen to the wayside, trample has kind of been left to just overrun us, as it were. The reason that banding can effectively counter trample is that while you have to assign all of the damage that the power represents, you don't have to assign any of the excess. When you give excess damage, it's not that you're assigning 5 to a 3/3 and then 2 is excess. No, you assign 3 to a 3/3 and then 2 is excess and gets sent to face. As such, if you have banding, you can just assign actually all 5 of that to the 3/3 and assign none to face. Now this might seem like a weird rules quirk, but if we just make that clear in reminder text and make it not just a gotcha, I think that's actually really good and should be fine. Like that's just a good mechanic. Honestly, we need banding back. It's not complicated, it's really good, and just print some good cards with it, and it's gonna be nice. If you're skeptical about how banding beats trample, think about how damage doubling interacts with trample. If you have a trample in 8/8 and your damage is doubled, and then you're blocked by a 5/5, the intuitive thing for most players is that you assign 8 damage to the 5/5, you double that to 16, 5 gets eaten, and 11 tramples over. But that's not how it works. You assign 5 to the 5/5, 3 to face, and then the 5/5 ends up taking 10 damage and face takes 6. Exactly the same situation. We only actually are assigning this damage before anything happens to it. And that's really it. I could go on and on, but I don't need to. That's everything you need to know about banding if we cut out the attacking portion. As long as we print creatures that say, while blocking, this creature has banding, or when it's not your turn, this creature has banding, we never have to worry about the complication of attacking in a band, and don't have to tempt people into making kind of a bad decision half the time. I've actually played a couple games with banding and thrown 4 people in a band, got blocked once, and had a really bad time. I get it. It's really bummer of an experience. But if you only block with banding, it's kind of great. It makes you feel kind of invulnerable. Highly recommend it. Throw in some random banding into your current decks. Even if you don't get a ton of use out of it, the random 1/1 vanilla creature's not going to drag the rest of your deck down that badly. Give it a shot. You might be surprised.